Hey, what's up, David? This is going to be a quick demo video for you for your Pheonix Props Sentinel with a brass mix chassis. Let's go over my desk and take a look at this, and I appreciate your patience. I know this took a little bit to do. Hey, what's up, David? So we are going to go over your Pheonix Props Sentinel. This was a really fun project, although I do appreciate your patience. Whenever we do chassis like this, as you know, it takes time. Time for me to model the chassis, and then even more time to get them printed, but it's all done now. It's a 2-button setup, so your 2 switches are over here. Power is right here, and the red one is going to be your auxiliary. All right, you've got a shadow foil props lit PCB connector in there. This is your blade retention. So one modification that I did do to this right away is that normally this guy right here that's unscrewing is a separate greebly from the grub screw, this little grub screw right here. I glued them together so that it would never come apart. The original intention, I believe, was for you to unscrew this guy so you could get to the grub screw, and that would be your blade retention, and then when you tighten your blade down, you'd lock this back down. So to me, it just made more sense if it was just all one piece, so you wouldn't need a tool. All right. When you sent this to me, because you bought this on the secondhand market, which is about the only place you can get these days, it had some various fake wood veneer. It had a piece here, I forget where else, maybe right here. Of course, I took all that off. I did some weathering. I did leave the black paint that was on these ribs because I thought it was a nice contrast. So all along here, and then I weathered the rest. All right, weathered up your Covertech a little bit so it just matched the rest of the Saber. And then how to get to your chassis is you want to unscrew your pommel. So we will unscrew the pommel, put it off to the side, and your chassis will fall right out into your hand. And this is what we've got. You would ask for a brass mix chassis, lightly weathered to match the Saber, so I hope that you like the way that this came out. The main chassis was printed in SLS material. The main chassis was printed in SLS material, and all of these pieces that you see are brass. So you've got these 6 pieces right here next to the speaker, or I'm sorry, 3 pieces and another 3 over here for a total of 6. A 28mm Smuggler's Outpost Elite speaker. I put this little accent here. This is a board cover, so it's on with 3 magnets. All right, you've got a magnet here, and then you've got a magnet on each side here. You got your kill switch right here, of course, access to your SD card and your micro USB. The board is adhesed down to the shelf, but you can get to everything from right here, and still, when you take this off, no wires. Okay, so nice and clean. You can get to your kill switch from right here if you don't want to take the board cover off, but it's super easy to do. All right, because this is such a tiny chassis, this is your removable battery area right here, so spring side for your negative. We didn't have enough room for a crystal, but I really wanted something here, so what I did was I used one of those 17 pixel stock rings. I put it in there. I put some diffusion material right behind this brass piece, and this acts as a crystal chamber. All right, you've got a 16 pixel accent strip right here, and you've got another 16 pixel accent strip right here. So that is your chassis. We'll take our battery, throw it in. This is a protected cell 18650. Flip the kill switch, throw the board cover on. So now you've got this LED strip and this LED strip are wired together. All right, and then of course this is separate. So if I turn this light off, you can kind of see it scrolling there. That's what that's doing. All right, we can take this chassis and put it in the Saber any way we want, as long as the PCB end goes in first. All right, so just take it, throw it right in, come over here and put your pommel on. I put the sound font that you gave me on the SD card and programmed into the Proffie. I did make some changes to your config file, and I put the updated config on the SD card. All right, you had a 6 blade style setup. This is a 3 blade style setup. So the first is your blade, the second is the ring, the third is the chassis LEDs. All right, and I bumped up your sensitivity just a hair. All right, but once that's in, you hit power. Saber is pretty beefy. Sentinel. So we're going to take our blade retention screw, which is this guy right here. You don't have to take it all the way out, just back it out of the blade socket, put a blade in. This takes a 1-inch diameter blade. So push the blade down on the pins, lock your blade retention in, hit power. Blaster bolts, blade lock up. Super loud. Soundtrack. All right. This is reminiscent of my Scrap Tech font. It's the only sound font you have on there, so when we hit auxiliary, it will just be that.
Sentinel.
Good flash on flash, and it will twist off and take the blade out. All right, comes out very easily. Tighten this back down so I don't forget it, and then we'll come back over here and take our pummel off, and the chassis will slide right out into your hand. All right, just like that. And you can come over here and just turn it off, and when we flip the switch, you'll see the lights turn off. All right, and then if you want to take the battery out, which you will eventually to charge it, of course, do it from the positive side, which is over here by the crystal chamber. You'll be able to pop it out with your finger. But that is basically your Pheonix Prop Sentinel with brass chassis. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will get this out express mail to you tomorrow morning. All right, thanks, David.